Happy Halloween. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. You might notice that we're not in our normal attire, because this was the Halloween episode of WandaVision, episode 6, and she's dressed as Wanda. Obviously, I'm dressed as Evan Peters, Fox, Quicksilver, trying to go for the Days of Future Past vibe, but I don't know if I nailed it. Let me know what you think down below. But we're going to get to our full-on spoiler thoughts on this episode in 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts first. I feel like I have a bit of a hot take. I'm disappointed and I'm upset. I'm sick of waiting a whole week for 30 minutes of just like more questions being asked. Nothing is being answered for me, and I'm getting very irritated with it at this point. It's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and I don't have a single thing answered. I don't know anything about Hayward, don't know anything about Quicksilver, don't know anything about Doctor Strange, Agnes, who's Monica meeting. We don't know anything, and I'm sick of not getting answers. You could give us an answer to at least one thing.
It's just weird that this episode kind of ended so abruptly. Like, there was no finality. I thought there was 10 minutes once the episode ended, and I was like, okay, that's it. And it just was a little upsetting. But key moments of this episode that I did like were seeing the kids use their powers. That was really cool.
That was super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
It was cool seeing Quicksilver run fast, whether or not he is actually Quicksilver.
Yeah, we see a lot of Evan Peters' Quicksilver in here. We don't really know exactly who he is. A lot of people are still theorizing he could be Mephisto, and I kind of still think that. But I know a lot of people are also theorizing that he could be like a spy of sorts. We really don't know what's going on. There's so much mystery surrounding this character. But he says things like devil spawns or something like that when he's referring to the kids. Like, that is just sus. That's really sus. And even his hair design, some people could say look like devil horns.
Yes, it is. There's just something off about him. He's like quizzing Wanda on so many things. He's asking so many questions. When Wanda tries to quiz him, he calls her out on it. He's aware of the fact that WandaVision talked about how there's no kids in Westview, because he's like, where did all these kids come from? Yeah. And I'm like, you weren't there for that conversation. How do you know? How do you know that? Why are you asking that question?
Yeah, exactly. And Wanda eventually loses it and uses her powers on Quicksilver, or whoever the hell it is, and knocks him back. And that's definitely going to resonate with the kids moving forward.
Yeah, their faces afterwards are like shocked.
And speaking of the kids, they can sense when Vision is trouble, because Vision in this episode is on the move. I called him Detective Vision. He's trying to break out. He actually confronts Agnes at one point and like touches her on the head, and she's doing some weird overacting thing in my opinion. I think she totally knows what's going on. Might even have her hand in the pot when it comes to control of this hex reality. But Vision touches the head and she goes back to normal. And then Vision dips out of there and he almost dies.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I think he was just getting sucked back in. I don't think he's strong enough to break the barrier. It was really weird. The whole Agnes confrontation really let me down. It was really hyped up in the trailers and then kind of nothing. So another thing that let me down. However, I think the biggest takeaway from this episode is Wanda expanded to suck Vision back in, and she got Darcy in there with her.
Darcy is sucked into the reality, which is insane. We didn't see her, but we saw a lot of other things returning to like circus events and clowns, but we did not see Darcy, but she is now in the Hex reality, which has expanded. Jimmy Woo and Monica Rambeau are going to meet someone, which a lot of people are speculating it could be Hawkeye. I think it's Reed Richards, or honestly, I didn't get to say this on Soup Stream, but I think it could be Talos or Nick Fury.
I'm gonna go with Shuri. Just for kicks and giggles.
Shuri. Wow, all the way from Wakanda.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Wild. That would be crazy if it came true, but a lot of things are being set up moving forward. I just hope we get answers, because so far, we've gotten answers in episode 4. Episode 5 set up Evan Peters' character, and this episode it wasn't the worst by any means, but it wasn't the best in my opinion. It felt like filler, which is what we both kind of said on the live watch along.
It was still a great episode, but for the fact that the Halloween episode was the most advertised in the trailers, it was a definite letdown. Like, I thought way more was going to happen than what actually did happen.
Yeah, but it's setting up a ton of things with regard to the expansion of the simulation. I'm sure other Avengers now are aware of the situation. Jimmy Woo and Monica don't have Darcy on their side anymore, and they're going to meet up with someone. And Monica's powers are hinted at here, as she's got something going on with her DNA and her blood.
Could Darcy being sucked into the world cause Thor to get angry, maybe?
Who knows?
Jane?
Literally, there's so much to speculate with here. Absolutely insane at this point. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in the background that people were pointing out in live chats. The takeaway from this episode is that the simulation is expanding, and it was kind of filler, but it was still entertaining, and like, I just wish it was longer. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think Wanda's losing control.
You do? Yeah. I think that Wanda still has control, and there were a lot of times where people would just be standing still. So like, Wanda is clearly only controlling it in certain parts, to bounce off what you were saying, and I think someone else is also controlling it. Overall, the episode was just fine to me. Nothing spectacular, but not bad by any means. The last three I think are going to be crazy because I bet we haven't seen a lot of footage from them, which excites me. And I think there's going to be a ton of huge cameo appearances from maybe Avengers or big-time MCU characters. But that's going to do it for our thoughts on this episode of WandaVision. Definitely hit the like button. Comment your thoughts on the episode down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you wish the episodes were longer and then we got more from them each week? Or are you happy with the way that it is? Let us know all that and more down below. Head over to Cam's channel, subscribe. All of our social medias will be linked down below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Film Stock channel. It would mean the world. WandaVision content every week. Had a lot of fun dressing up. My first ever cosplay. What do you guys think of it?
I was about to say, let us know if you want to see more cosplays from Chris.
The silver hair and everything. But hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time. See you guys later.